Over the last year, I have seen stories like these everywhere. Designers losing jobs, graduates struggling to get hired, freelancers losing clients they have worked with for years. And almost every conversation ends with the same way: AI is replacing designers. At first, I believed it too, but then I started digging. Now, the strange thing is, when I looked at the data, something didn't quite add up.
Layoffs.
This is every major tech layoffs since the pandemic. Notice something, the biggest wave of layoffs didn't happen after the AI exploded. It started much earlier, 2022 into 2023, long before companies were talking about AI replacing workers. So that made me stop because it raised an obvious question. If AI wasn't being blamed back then, what actually caused all of this? Now, during the pandemic, tech companies hired at a pace we would never seen before. Money was cheap, investors were pouring billions into the startup, growth was everything. Companies weren't just hiring because they needed people, they were hiring because everyone expected the boom to continue. But eventually, interest rates went up, funding slowed down, and many of those same companies had to shrink. The layoffs had already begun before AI became the headline. Then I found this. This chart doesn't show all layoffs, it only shows the companies explicitly attributed to AI. In 2024, AI accounted for only a small fraction. Then in 2025, something changed. Suddenly, AI became the explanation, and by 2026, it dominated the conversation. That's not to say AI isn't changing jobs. It clearly is, but the timing matters. AI didn't start the layoff wave, it arrived right in the middle of it. Which made me realize maybe I'd been asking the wrong question. Instead of asking, is AI replacing designers? Maybe I should have been asking, what exactly is AI replacing? The biggest wave of tech layoffs actually started before AI became the explanation. Now, AI didn't start the layoffs, it arrived at exactly the moment companies were trying to become more efficient. And that doesn't mean AI isn't changing jobs. It just means we have been blaming AI for the wrong thing.
Prompt to app tool that turns your ideas into interactive prototypes and even working products, all backed by real code. No matter your role or skill level, anyone can use Figma Make to generate working applications that can be published to the web.
The first time I saw this, I honestly felt uncomfortable, not because it looked bad, but because I couldn't figure out what it was actually replacing. Was it replacing creativity? Was it replacing execution? Or something else entirely? Here is the side by side comparison of human versus AI building design. And that's exactly what companies want: more output in less time. But that's not the scariest part. Here's what Claude Code Creator has to say about future of work.
How much of our work in the future do you think will actually be offloaded to these AI agents?
Now you talk to your agents and they write your code. And at any moment in time, I have like a few agents or sometimes thousands of agents running that are doing my work. And it's amazing because I can think of ideas, I can figure out the next thing, I can talk to customers, and they do the part that I don't enjoy.
That's Boris Cheney, who leads the team that created Claude Code. One thing that grabbed my attention is that the use of agent is not slowing down. It's going to be 10x, maybe 100x more.
This is what is going to happen for every kind of work that can happen on a computer over the next few years.
Because it improves productivity and helps you focus on the other task that you care about. Which brings me to the next question. If AI keeps getting better at doing the work, what exactly is left for the designer? Think about the last time you designed something. You probably didn't open Figma first. You might have opened Pinterest, Dribbble, Mobin. Maybe you read a few articles, watched a YouTube video, saved a couple of screenshots, sketched a terrible idea. Only after all of that did you finally start designing. None of that work ever appeared in the final design. But maybe it was the design. But honestly, I never thought much about it. I just assume that's what every designer does. But wait a minute. If AI can already do this, what exactly is it replacing? Then I remembered something Steve Jobs once said about designing products.
Things. Designing a product is keeping 5,000 things in your brain, these concepts, and fitting them all together in kind of continuing to push to fit them together in new and different ways to get what you want. And every day you discover something new that is a new problem or a new opportunity to fit these things together a little differently. And it's that process that is the magic.
That sentence completely changed how I think about design. Steve wasn't describing the first screen. He was describing everything that happens before it: the research, the false starts, the connections, the hundreds of tiny decisions that nobody ever sees. Maybe that invisible work was the design. AI isn't just helping us create faster, it's starting to do something much deeper. It's doing the exploration, the part of the process that quietly teaches designers how to think. Which makes me ask another question. If AI starts doing the exploration, how do designers learn to explore? And that's when I realized maybe this was never really a story about AI. Maybe it was a story about how great designers are made. Every designers I have looked up to, Steve Jobs, Johnny Ives, Dieter Rams, they all keep coming back to the same idea: taste. Not because taste makes beautiful interfaces, but because taste help you recognize which idea deserves your attention long before anyone else sees it. And for a moment, I thought maybe that's something AI could never replace.
Generative AI, which is today's kind of generation of AI models started. And the thing I most noticed is that the cognitive abilities of these AI systems would grow year after year. In the 90s, we had something called Moore's Law, which meant chips got faster and faster.
That sentence stayed with me because Moore's law was never about software, it was about chips. Every couple of years, computers became dramatically more powerful, but now the thing improving isn't just the hardware, it's the intelligence itself. At least that's what people building these models believe.
It feels like now we have almost a Moore's Law for intelligence. And so I'm watching the cognitive abilities, the intelligence of these models tick up day after day, year after year.
And if they are right, AI won't stop at generating interfaces. It will get better at reasoning, better at coding, better at connecting ideas, better at solving problems. Which makes me wonder, was I wrong about taste too? After thinking about it, I don't think so. Because generation was never the hardest part. AI can generate 20 different ideas, maybe 200 someday. But someone still has to decide which one solves the problem, which one respects the user, which one should never exist in the first place. That isn't generation, that's judgment. And judgment isn't something you download, it's built slowly through curiosity, through mistakes, through bad ideas, through thousands of tiny decisions that nobody ever sees.
Ultimately, it comes down to taste. It comes down to taste.
Because maybe taste isn't about making beautiful products, maybe taste is simply the ability to recognize what matters. AI can help us create faster, it can help us explore faster, it might even help us think faster, but I still believe someone has to decide what's worth building. At the beginning of this video, I thought AI was replacing designers. Now, I think it's replacing something much quieter. The invisible work that used to teach designers how to become designers. Maybe this isn't the end of the design, maybe it's the end of confusing design with drawing screens. Because screens were never the product, judgment was. If AI really is changing how we work, then maybe the designers who thrive won't be the ones who can generate the most ideas. They'll be the ones who know which idea deserves to exist in the first place.
It comes down to trying to expose yourself to the best things that humans have done, and then try to bring those things in to what you're doing.